C'était VIP de MC Reef. Du coup, pour le coup, là, on a une vraie sélection de qualité.
De qualité,
pour cette
vraiment,
saison. C'était déjà
vraiment,
le cas pour la saison première. Mais là,
Alors,
c'est très éclectique. On a des goûts et des couleurs différentes.
très gros
Bravo
son.
pour ce morceau déjà.
Bravo.
A very diverse set of music, and thank you very much. This is dope.
Thank you, appreciate that. Merci.
Et justement, MC Reef, tu peux nous dire qui tu es donc, et d'où tu viens à New York, dans quel quartier tu es, et puis après comment tu as commencé la musique justement.
Can you tell us about you, where you're from, how you started music?
I didn't have anybody in my family that was like musically inclined. It was just like my grandmother would always walk around the house like humming her church songs. My sisters always listened to the radio, so I kind of like picked up on music that way. And when I was in junior high school, I had a 6th grade teacher, and he made us take like a test to figure out which instrument we would play, and I ended up with a clarinet. And I didn't know anything about a clarinet, but it made me want to like learn music. And then when he was teaching us how to play these instruments, he would put the sheet music in front of us, and that would be like where the curiosity came from, like to actually learn music. And then the real answer to that is one day, on a rainy day, me and my sister were going to school, and I found like this USB MP3 player, and it had like so much music on it, Kanye, T.I., you name it, KRS-One, it had a whole lot of music on it. And I don't know who lost it, but I know they were mad. But as I was listening to that music, it just became more clear to me that it was something that I was more interested in. And then when I got to high school, I used to get suspended because I would sneak my phone past the metal detector. And I would do it for other people too. So instead of them expelling me, they put me in a program called My School Has Rhythm, Not Violence. And we had to make up a rap song about nonviolence. I didn't have no idea how to write a song, but after I wrote that song, that was it from there. I just wanted to do it forever.
And you're from Brooklyn as well, right?
Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, so
Brooklyn.
donc il a grandi à Brooklyn, dans une famille qui n'était pas forcément orientée musique, à part sa grand-mère qui chantait des chansons d'église, du gospel, I guess, or your grandmother was singing
Church songs, yes.
Voilà, des musiques d'église, voilà. Sa sœur qui écoutait de la radio. Et un jour, du coup, il a pas vraiment grandi dans la musique. Un jour, il a trouvé une clé USB en allant à l'école. Et il a commencé à écouter cette clé USB et voilà, ça l'a rendu fou.
Il est tombé sur des grands noms.
Ouais, des grands noms, des Kanye West, des T.I., etc. Et donc, mais avant ça, attendez, parce qu'avant ça, j'ai oublié une petite étape. Il y a un moment très important. Donc en primaire, il a commencé à faire de la clarinette. Et donc ça l'a un peu intrigué en fait dans la musique et c'est ce qui a commencé vraiment son ascension dans la musique. Donc après avoir trouvé cette clé USB, il a kiffé et à l'école il a eu son premier projet aussi où il devait écrire un texte de rap et de là tout est parti.
En tout cas, l'évolution, pareil, est belle et parfaite. On a un style vraiment bien défini, bien construit. Comment est-ce qu'il s'est fait à créer ce style-là? Est-ce que c'est une création au fil du temps ou est-ce qu'il s'est trouvé directement?
How did you create your own style? Was it like straight away or was it, with time? Because your style is amazing. Just want to say.
Thank you. Merci. It was over time. When I first started making music, I would listen to other artists and I would take the beat that they used and I would write a song, just take out their words and put my words in it, and I would sound like them. So after a while, I didn't want to sound like who I was trying to be inspired by. So I think I just stopped doing that. One day, my best friend was a producer, and he sent me like a folder of instrumentals, and from there I had to like figure out my own sound from there. So when I did my first album, that was it.
Okay. Alors ça s'est construit avec le temps en fait. Au début, il commençait à écouter des sons de rappeurs qu'il kiffait, mais il commençait à les imiter, donc il n'a pas trop kiffé faire ce style. Et donc il a voulu créer son propre style. Son beatmaker lui a ramené une liste de beats et il a commencé à travailler. C'est ce qu'il fait.
Et à écrire, justement, et à devenir ce que tu es devenu maintenant. Et par rapport à ça, quels sont tes projets, toi? Et avant ça, avant de nous parler de tes projets, la connexion aussi, comment tu atterris dans ce projet, Bridge of the Indies?
How did you end up here with Bridge of the Indies, first of all?
I met Frank in 2019. It was a festival called Day Summit Festival. And we didn't necessarily talk right then and there, but I was just fascinated by how Frank performed. You know, he's a real performer. And that was like my first time actually witnessing people perform, like do good job performing, memorizing their lyrics and everything. And then I also used to, I think I found one of his events online one day, but I didn't know it was Frank. So I went to the event and I was asking people around, like, how can I perform here? And they was like, you got to talk to Frank. And I'm like, who's Frank? So one day I went to another event and I think it wasn't Ray. It was somebody else though, but somebody actually brought Frank to me and it was like, yo, Frank, you got to meet this guy, MC. And I was like, yo, I've been looking for you, Frank. You know, so it was like we were meant to meet. And then I did a few events for Frank. He started booking me to perform at his events. And I think last year he told me that he was going to be doing the Paris and he wanted me to be there. But at the time I wasn't able to make it for the first 2 trips. But I told him the third time that you go, I would definitely be there. So I made sure that I kept my word for that.
Ok. Donc il a rencontré Franck en 2019 dans un festival. Il lui parlait pas vraiment, il l'a vu sur scène et il a vu que c'était, comme on l'a dit précédemment, un monstre de scène. Il est incroyable sur scène, Franck.
C'est un truc qui revient.
Ouais. Il faut vraiment le voir sur scène pour comprendre.
Ouais.
il est très très fort. Et du coup après, lui il cherchait des événements sur New York et on lui disait il faut contacter Franck. Il se disait mais qui est ce Franck en fait? Et il se retrouvait à revoir ce Franck du coup qui le bookait sur certains événements. Donc à force d'événements, ils ont construit une relation. Il l'a invité à Bridge of the Indies déjà pour les 2 sessions précédentes, mais il n'a pas pu venir.
Okay.
Et aujourd'hui, il
est là.
You're here now.
Ouais, il est là et on est ravis de le recevoir. C'est encore une belle découverte. Est-ce que tu as un dernier mot pour le public français, quelque chose à partager?
And we are very pleased to welcome to.
Et surtout aussi, il a ses projets aussi, des projets à venir aussi.
So first, do you have any project coming up? That's the first question. And second, do you have a message to the French people?
At the moment, I don't have a project. I released one at the end of 2023. It's called The Unexpected Volume 3. It is not on Spotify or any of those streaming platforms. I pretty much took my music off of there. I didn't want to get paid 0.0003 streams. But the project, The Unexpected Volume 3, is a album about the last 5 years of my life. I lost my uncle to suicide, and at that moment I had to figure out who I was. So without him, because he taught me so much, he helped raise me. So after that, when I made the project, I wanted it to be something that people can really connect to. People can understand who I really am, and they can hear my story. And
Okay.
I think it's just a real testament of what I've been doing over the past 5 years.
And where can we find this?
It's on Bandcamp or Even. Those are 2 platforms for independent artists. This is for the artists that would like to sell their music.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in selling your music, Bandcamp or Even.
Okay. Donc alors fin 2023, il a eu son dernier projet c'est fin 2023, Unexpected Volume 3. Et en fait, c'est assez profond pour lui parce qu'il avait perdu son oncle qui s'est suicidé. Et du coup, c'était un album qui comptait beaucoup pour lui. Il n'est pas sur toutes les plateformes, c'est un choix. Parce qu'il ne veut pas être payé des miettes, on va être transparent. Mais par contre, on peut trouver son album sur Bandcamp et Even. Voilà, c'est des plateformes en fait où on peut vendre ses albums en tant qu'artiste indé.
And what was the second question?
Et la question,
message,
un petit message pour
Message.
justement des auditeurs français et puis le public français, tu vois.
Yeah, a message to the French audience.
I would say do whatever you want to do. If it's something that you are very passionate about, if it's something that you think about a lot, something that keeps you awake at night, do it. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do it. Just be confident in yourself, because no one is going to help us and no one is going to save us. So whatever you want to do it.
Ok. En gros, son message, c'est ne laisse personne te dire que tu ne peux pas. Fais-le seulement et écoute-toi. si t'arrives pas à dormir à cause de ça, ben, c'est parce que tu dois le faire tout simplement. Et fais les choses en fait. Écoute-toi.
Un message validé par Jamal et par tout le monde, je pense. Merci beaucoup de ta participation aussi. On va passer à la dernière artiste, c'est une fille, Kay Peigné, et son morceau c'est All Love, qu'on va écouter tout de suite avant de la recevoir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Nickel. Bravo.